Hi, this is Pat Grady from Embellishing Bliss. Welcome to week 3 of Navigate the Journey. Last week I hope you had a couple of minutes to spend each day in your journal and using the prompt, I'm willing to release, finding some things in your life that you were ready to let go of, to release, to make room for new, more exciting things that you want to do in your life, and using your journal to help you do that. And then at the end of the week, hopefully you had a chance to reclaim or harvest those things that you have done all week and put them together on one page so that you can kind of have a culmination of the things that you've learned this week and also what you're hoping to learn this coming week. This week we're going to focus on reclaim. And I know you're probably thinking, Pat, we just released things last week. Why would we want to bring them back this week? But it's a little different. It's not just bringing everything back, but reclaiming those things that are important in your life. Maybe you have a dream of something that you'd like to do, whether it's starting your own business or writing a book or doing something special. Or it could be something very basic like, still taking your walk every day. Or for me, it's coming down in my studio and playing and designing a new outfit or something like that. So reclaiming something that's important to you and finding time to do that in your life. So in the document that you'll be getting this week, you'll get the definition of reclaim along with kind of the step-by-step of the week. But what I want to spend most of the time in the video today is actually demonstrating for you how we're going to get some color into the journal. So it's not just writing, but spending some time adding paint to the journal and using some of the other resource materials that you've been collecting over the last couple of weeks. So I want to start by showing you my journal and a couple of the pages that I've done in that, and it'll give you an idea of where we're going with this, and then I'm going to actually demonstrate. So this page, and you may not be able to read it, but basically it was an ad for, I think it's like a cafe latte or something, and you're looking down into a cup, and it says, somewhere between running errands and running laps, the moment is yours. And that ad was inspirational to me. It made me stop and think that, sometimes we really should just appreciate the moments rather than doing as much as we can in a day. So I taped, or actually glued, this page, and I'll show you in a minute how to do that. And then I used some kind of brown tones to actually color the pages so that they look sort of like that, the cafe latte. And then I wrote, don't just get through life's experiences. What would happen instead if we would make the most of the moments? So in that page, I kind of took a look at what it meant to just get through something. Instead, really enjoy it, enjoy the journey of what you were going through. So that gives you just one example of something that you might want to do in your journal, and how these resource materials can actually inspire you to do something that's kind of fun and interesting. So now let's get to the paint part of it, and I'll also show you how to put some of these pieces into your journal. So I was flipping through a magazine that one of my friends gave me, Fiber Art, and I came to this spread where it says Healing Threads, Comfort and Creativity. And it really gave me inspiration, because I love the idea of being able to use fabrics to help people to heal. And it's a great article, and I could have just kept the headline of it, but I really liked the whole article. So now I'm going to show you how I'm going to get this out of the magazine into my journal and then add some paint so that I can expand upon this thought or idea. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is, I have just an X-Acto knife, and I am going to just cut right along the center of the page like this. Now you could just tear the page out, but I actually wanted this to be sort of a clean cut. So there's one page. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and do that again. for the next page. So now I have the 2 pages. I've got my journal open here to a blank spread. And I love using color to start. And I'm inspired by the colors that I found on these pages. So I pulled out 3 colors of paint. I have kind of a gold color and a lighter orange and a deeper orange. And this was it was talking about healing threads, comfort, and creativity. And when I think of comfort, you know, warm colors like oranges and golds come to mind for me. So these are the little 2-ounce bottles. And I'm going to just open those up. And sometimes you'll get a little bit of dried paint on here. I just kind of pick that off. And you don't need much paint, and you can always add more later. So I'm actually just going to put a few dots of paint, and I do want to have all 3 colors on both pages. So it's not a lot of paint. And if I didn't want to do dots, I could also just do a real thin, like maybe a stripe or something. I'll show you how that looks different. Then I'm starting with just a basic, this I think is a rewards card or something. Could be a gift card, credit card, whatever you want, just so it's a stiff card. And I can do this where I'm actually sort of creating stripes with the paint. Then I'm just pulling it down, and the credit card makes this paint very, very thin so it dries quickly. So you can see I can do a real straight striped effect. Now on this side, I've got the same sort of thing going, but instead I'm going to just kind of move the paint in a different direction. I'm going to wiggle my card as I'm doing it. Okay, and now I can always add a little bit more paint. I might want a little bit of this lighter orange color to add it in. And the page doesn't have to be completely covered. I know some people really like it where it's from edge to edge. I'm okay with it being more open. And then if that's too dark and that you don't love how you might not be able to write over it, the other thing I do a lot of times is I had talked about having a lighter color. This is just a little kind of a cream off-white color. And I'm going to then go back over the top of this so that the deeper color is underneath, but this lightens the whole page up. Okay, now you can see that I've just added some color onto the page. And depending on how you use the credit card, you can get 2 very complete different looks, but I've used basically the same colors. If I wanted to, I could put that lighter color over top of here. Okay, now I've got the paint on the page, and while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and put these pages on into the book. So this was a small enough magazine that this page fits inside of my journal. If it didn't, I could always trim the top and bottom of the page. But what I want to do next is I'm going to fold back about a ½ inch on this magazine page. Okay, and when I have it folded back, now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to move the journal just for a minute. And on my table, you can see I have just some basic brown paper so that I'm not messing up my tabletop underneath. I can get paint on this or glue or whatever, and it's not a problem. And I've used just a basic glue stick, and I've glued just right along that edge that I've folded back. All right, now in my journal, I'm going to flip this page over and where it's glued, I'm just folding it back on the page before. And if you don't like the way that looks on the page before, I simply could have glued it right along here instead. And what this allows you to do is to see the back side of this page too. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to be a little careful because there's writing on this back page. I'm not going to fold quite as much over. It will still hold, but I want to be able to read this entire article. So I'm going to just fold this small portion back. Again, fold it out. Take the glue stick. Put glue along the edge. And then you simply just press that edge underneath the page. And then it folds over. You're going to want to take your thumb and make sure that that's down pretty securely. Now this can be done with a glue stick if you prefer. You could use tape here instead. The glue stick seems to work really well. In some pages I've actually gone in and I think I have a page back here where I used thread just for an interest, added thread along here. This was a class that I took online with my friend Claire, and so I had the pages in here from the class of our little homework that we had done. So this might be something you'll want to do with your things from this class. And then I painted these pages in the colors that were sort of in this brochure that she, or the handout that she had given us. And then I took notes on the conference call and when I had a buddy call with my friends. So all of the information about that week is all in one place here in my journal, and I can go back and take a look at it whenever I want to. Okay, so now we have these pages secured and they open up like this. So now I'm going to look at this, and this is about healing threads. And I'm now going to take just my basic Crayola markers, and in here, you know, the first thing that comes to mind for me is, and a lot of times I ask myself questions. I don't necessarily even know the answers to them, but I'm going to say, how can I comfort people with my art? And I've just used the marker to do that. I just went in with an orange marker. Sometimes I like to go back in, I mean, because this is just kind of the arty part of me, and even though this isn't really about art, but that I might make like double letters, or if there's a certain word that I want to have, like how, comfort, and art, maybe those are the key words. And a lot of times I don't always know the answers to the questions, but I think sometimes just finding questions are helpful. And so I'm gonna, at some point I will read through this article to gain insight on what these people have done and how they've used art to comfort others. And then I might figure out, what could I do? I'm actually working with a group at one of our local hospitals for people who have done pregnancy loss, and the idea of how can I create a course for them that they can use a journal to help them through that most difficult time. So again, just getting some paint on the page, and you can see, I mean, how quickly this dried that I was able to write over this immediately. And then if I want to just take, you know, one of my favorite gel pens or something, so once I have a marker in there, I might just go in and then write for sure the date. Today is Sunday, January 20th. So that I remember when I at least started this or wrote it. So I'll have that date, and then if I write more now, that's great. Or maybe in a day or two, if I go back to revisit this, I can write more and add the dates in at that time as well. So I'm hoping that that is giving you some idea of a way to get some paint on the page, to add some pages into your journal so that you can use it not only to just take a little journey, an inner journey, but to use other tools or other things that you found in magazines to help you to really dig deeper and to find out what it is that you really want to do next in your life. So I hope you have a great week. You're willing and able to do some reclamation and reclaim the things that are important to you. And we'll have our conference call on Friday this week. All the details are in the document that you're receiving, but it's on Friday from noon to 1 Central Time. I hope you have a great week.